Here we are again, ansible example, second part. Step further a little bit from the last example. So in the last example that we give you some very basic idea what ansible can do for you and how it through what mechanism it will do for you, and some very basic components that you can consist a ansible example. Also here we introduce some other very important key concepts. With all these new concepts, you can write larger scale ansible projects that can take care of different aspects of one big project. So the way we're going to use here, different from the first one, we want to gradually augment from a simple ansible playbook. So I assume all the prerequisites has been conveniently fulfilled, and we start from a playbook already being finished. So if you remember the playbook we used from last time, they actually look pretty similar. So they have the name of the project, they have all the target hosts defined, and a list of the tasks. In this case, again, it is an installation task. All the host lists look similar. The modules apt used in this playbook looks similar. So that's where we start from. Alright, the first key concept we want to introduce is this role concept. Role concept got introduced for two reasons. One is sysadmins, they have very similar tasks need to be executed in the whole community. So code can be reused time and time again with a very clear, defined, well-defined task module that can help people save lots of time. So that's one reason to reuse the code. Secondly, a single deployment task in most cases consists of different modules. The example could be a web server deployment, right? You need to take care of the backend database. You also need to take care of the front-end application server. So there are different software modules. They need to be installed, they need to be configured as different roles. So roles can help you separate different tasks into reasonable groups. For that reason, we modify our original playbook into a new form. So here, still we need to specify the name of all the hosts. But instead of defining a list of tasks, right, we here only specify a list of roles. This list can grow longer if you have multiple roles in your project. As I mentioned, if you have to install not only the backend database but also a front-end application server, then naturally you have two roles: application server and backend database. We here have one role because we have one installation task to install the R package. Okay? As the name suggests, the role's name is also R. So the next step, you already tell the playbook, okay, you don't have to executing a list of tasks. You only need to invoke this role, but then you have to define this role. Go ahead in the same project folder, create folder structures like this. So these fixed names can be used as, just think them as keywords, right? So Ansible will look for these keywords. If Ansible realizes you define roles, then Ansible will go ahead and check your roles folder. From there, you will find the name you specified in the playbook, and under that name is going to find the tasks. And there should be a YAML file called main.yaml. So this may look very similar, right? Those are the contents we used to define in the playbook, but we now took them out and rewrite them in this role file. So now this role will do a specific job, that is to run this apt module, and that role install R for whatever playbook will invoke this role. So by doing so, we enable code reuse, and we also separate different tasks within our project. So that's the very simple use case of using roles to extend the original Ansible playbook. But don't install that yet, because we're going to further extend our playbook. So up to now, you may realize that all the installation tasks are fulfilled by this apt module. So on your Ubuntu environment, apt will run apt-get install for you with some parameters you specify. But there are other ways to install data, to install software packages. Another typical way is you may need to fetch source code from GitHub and compile the source code, and then you install the compiled binary in that target host. So that's a different way. Sometimes when the software package manager apt-get does not work properly for you, and this might be the only way that you can use. Okay, so here in that role file, the YAML file, instead of simply calling the apt module, right, we have to expand that simple task by two different steps. The first one is we have to obtain the source code. As you can see, we have two bullets, like two items defined in this list. So note that we here use this git. Again, that's just another module, right? Play the same role as the apt module. So this module will help us to retrieve source code from GitHub. Of course, we need to provide the name of the repository. We also need to provide the local destination and where we want to store this source code. And similarly, after you download the source code, the next task is going to be compiling and to install the compiled binary file. That task is fulfilled by the second bullet. And again, you need to become the privileged user. That's why there is a become, and below that command, it's another module. It will execute a shell command. So in this execution loop, you execute through all these three commands, one after one. And people who experience the C source code installation will recognize those are just very typical C installation steps. So you do some configuration in the source package, and then you compile that with make command, and then you make install that into the system directory. But you do need to realize this is a showcase. This is a demo, so we conveniently ignore some parts so we don't distract you. If you really run this command in a completely fresh installed system, it probably won't work because makefile, compilation, all these compilers need to be pre-installed. So a fresh install, the target may not have all these packages ready, right? In order to successfully execute it, we also have to install make, we probably have to install GCC and all other necessary libraries. We didn't mention those parts, so we focus on these ideas. You need to download from Git, and you compile locally and install it locally. So the next concept we want to emphasize is we want to always separate hard-coded values from logic scripts. You don't want to embed too much constant values. Sometimes they need to be updated in different environment. So it would be better to keep them in a separate variable file. So again, we come back to our playbook. You may realize that we specify the role after that. We also specify a variable file. So by doing so, we tell Ansible that if you need to find the values of some variable keys, look at this file. And here we have this key and value pairs defined in the variable file. We have repository, and we have the local temporary file directory defined. So therefore, we have to update our role definition, because before it embedded too many hard-coded variables. Now all those variables are taken out, replaced by this name with the syntax curly brace, and name of the variable. So in this case, if you keep using the same variable in different locations, you don't have to worry to update it through the entire project directory. So that finished the second example. It basically extends a simplest case by introducing other useful concepts. You use a code reuse while defining roles, and you can use different modules to install software packages and data other than besides apt-get. And also you need to do this logic and the data separation by using a variable file. So those hopefully can be a good start when you work on your relatively sophisticated Ansible project next.